So what constitutes being saved? When someone say, I am saved, I am a Christian, are they saved? Are they saved if they say, I am a Christian? Because I can tell you, I was born and raised in the church, meaning since my youth, that's all I know is church. We went to church. We learned about Jesus Christ. I attended Sunday school. I sang in the choir, played tambourines, shouted. I did all of that stuff. But does that constitute being saved? I think it's a legitimate question. So there was a time where I was in the gated community. I've talked about it before. And so I'm in the gated community, the community with the razor wire around the perimeter to keep us safe from the outside world. Okay. And it was a result of the lifestyle I was living, which was not right. It's ironic because that's kind of the last step of the lifestyle I was living. That's the last step. That's the destination. Whether it comes sooner or later, it's going to come. And so I'm sitting at a table, and there is a guy, the janitors that cleans the dormitory, and me and him got into uh, a argument, which resulted in a physical altercation. So now here I am in jail, being handcuffed and taken to jail. Imagine that. So I'm put in solitary confinement. And while I was in solitary confinement, you don't go pack your stuff, your belongings, and then let's come go with me. No, you get handcuffed and you taken to solitary confinement, and you're put in a cell. You're in a cold cell with nothing but a cold mattress. Eventually, they go pack your belongings and bring it to you. But one of the things they take serious is religion. So before I got my belongings, I got my Bible. They went to my cell, got my Bible, and they brought that to me. So now here I am in this cold cell with nothing but a Bible. And it just paints a picture of what God will do to get your attention. I'll take everything you have, including your freedom, including your belongings, everything, and leave you with nothing to focus on except for me. And so what do you do in that situation? Well, there's only one thing to do. I started reading my Bible. And so I started in Matthew, and I read all the way through the New Testament. By the time I had read from Matthew all the way through Revelation, I got my belongings. And in my belongings, I had colored pencils because I was an artist. I used to draw and color, do pictures and all of that stuff. So I took my colored pencil, but one thing happened while I was reading my Bible. Something interesting happened. There was a lot of things that I caught while reading my Bible that just caught my attention, and it just sucked me in. So now I am interested. So I take out my colored pencils. I was going to go back through the New Testament, but this time I was going to mark all the scriptures that jumped off the pages at me when I read it the first time. And so that's what I did. I'm going back through my Bible and I'm color coding different passages to mean different things for me. I am highlighting, I am underlining, I am taking notes. I am into this Bible now. And one day while I'm deep into studying my Bible, I mean, the rest of my stuff was irrelevant at that point. I was on fire for what I had read in my Bible. I was all in. And one day while I'm laying there, I got this weird feeling that came over me. I'm laying like on my back with my Bible up and I'm reading. And this weird feeling came over me. And it's something that there's just no way that I can describe it. I can't put it into words. But the best I can do is that this feeling of heaviness came over me. It was like my body was a lead weight. And I remember pausing because it's continued to grow stronger as I was reading. I kind of ignored it at first. And it got stronger. and my body started to feel heavier and heavier. And so I sat up. I sat up and rolled over, and I sat on the side of my bunk, and I laid my Bible on the page that I was reading on the table. And I'm sitting here wondering what this feeling was. And I remember putting my elbows on my knees and my hands, my palm of my hands over my forehead, and I'm staring at the concrete floor down between my feet. And this feeling is getting stronger and stronger. And I remember the tears started to well up in my eyes, and I thought to myself, "Oh, you're about to cry? Are you serious? You're about to cry? Is that what you're doing here?" And I thought to myself, "Absolutely not. I don't do crying. No, I'm not fixing to cry." And I resisted it. And it was obvious that I was losing that battle. Whatever this was that was coming over me was overpowering me. And eventually I realized that I wasn't going to stop what was about to happen. And I got out of the way, and the tears started to flow. And when I say started to flow, I mean started pouring out of my eyes. And I'm watching these tears fall to the concrete floor between my feet. As I'm crying, I'm thinking to myself, I have no idea why I'm crying. No idea at all why I'm crying. And so this went on for a while. And now there's a giant puddle of tears on the floor. And finally it stopped. And I remember standing up, and I walked to the door where they have a little bitty window, and on the other side is a brick wall because you don't have cells across. All the cells are on one side. So when you look out, you're looking at a brick wall on the other side. And so I looked out the window, and I turned around to see this giant puddle of tears on the floor. And it was as if I could see all my pain, all my hurt, all my hatred, all the evil, all the meanness, all the cruelty, all the sorrow in that puddle of tears. And I was thinking to myself, what just happened? I wasn't sure what just happened. Something happened that I wasn't sure about. I had an idea, but I wasn't sure. So what I did was take a mental note, a note to self. Something just happened. I don't know what, but something just happened. And so it was only after I got out of solitary confinement, and of course they put me on what's considered close custody. And so I'm on close custody, and I'm back in a cell, back in the population. And it was only after that that something strange happened. Now, I was that guy because remember, this is before Jesus Christ. I'm in my ways. And one of the things you hear is people say, curse like a sailor. Have you ever heard of that? I don't know how sailors curse, but apparently they're good at it, or they've mastered the art of cursing. But I cursed like a sailor, okay? And there was times where I would say, you know what? I'm just going to stop cursing. You ever done that? I'm going to stop cursing. And that lasted for, I don't know, all but about 30 seconds till the first person said something to me. And so it never worked, ever. But something strange happened. Once I'm back out in the population, all of a sudden, the foul language vanished out of nowhere. And I'm thinking to myself, what in the world is going on here? Like the foul language just dried up. And it was so noticeable because I realized just how limited my vocabulary was. I had to relearn how to talk all over again. But one of the things that it did do is clearly let me know what happened back there in that cell. I just got saved. Jesus Christ just intervened into my life, and I got saved in that cell. This made it crystal clear to me what just happened. And so now I'm having to learn how to talk all over again because the language that I had tried on my own before to get rid of was just gone. It was completely gone. But it put a finger on something that I talked about before I started this video. It highlighted what I see as a potential problem. I was raised in the church. I was baptized. I called on Jesus. I sung the songs. I sung in the choir. I attended the Bible study. I did all of those things. And I just got saved, which means before that, I was not saved, which is why I presented the question, what constitutes being saved? Attending church, singing in the choir, saying if someone asks me, what am I? I'm a Christian. Saying I'm a Christian. Is that what constitutes a Christian? It made me re-examine everything I thought about what makes someone a Christian and what doesn't. But if I look back over my life after I'm old enough to get out and do things on my own, did I attend church? Absolutely not. Bible study? No. Reading the Bible? Absolutely not. Pray? Any of that? No, none of it. None of that. I was in the world doing what the world do. But because I was raised in the church, if you ask me when I was an adult, I'm a Christian. I am a Christian. And I was not until that day in that cold cell when Jesus Christ intervened. I became a Christian then. After that, yes, I am praying. Yes, I am Bible study. Yes, I am reading my Bible. Yes, I am doing all the things that would identify me as a Christian. You didn't have to ask me. You could watch me and you would know. That guy's a Christian. You could walk up to my cell at any given time. I got commentaries over here, the Bible here, concordances over here, tablet over here, writing notes. I am all in. It's obvious at that point. Before then, it was not. In Luke chapter 7, verses 40 through about 49, Jesus presents a question to Simon. And he says, there's a man who is owed a debt by two different people. One owed him a lot, one owed him a little. He just forgave both of them. He says, which one do you think would be more grateful for his act of kindness? And Simon said, the one that he had forgiven the most, which would be the obvious answer. And Jesus told him, you have rightly judged. Because the person who he has forgiven the most would be more thankful. And so he goes on to explain how what he had not done, but yet this woman who was at his feet from the time he came in had been at his feet, washing his feet, crying her tears, washing his feet with her tears and her hair. And he said of her sins, who are many, are forgiven. Her sins, who are many, are forgiven. You want to know why I'm so in love with Jesus Christ? It's not just what he saved me to, but it's what he saved me from. He saved me from eternal destruction. I was a detriment to myself, and he saved me. He intervened and saved me. You want to know why I am so on fire for Jesus Christ? That's why. And at this point in my personal walk, there is nothing on God's green earth can overthrow my faith. Nothing. It's not going to happen. I will take my last breath on this earth believing Jesus Christ is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And so this is going to become important as we move forward, as I present more content on this channel. You will have a background of where I'm coming from. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, I would love to hear from you. Put it in the comments below. I'll respond to whatever questions you have. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video. Bye for now.